tonight, but that's initially why I even walked up to her at this meet and greet and tell me what you do at the Y, and tell me about the programs y'all are doing, and then asking if there's ever an opportunity, can I come share my story? So that's why I'm here tonight. I want to share my story. I hope that it will encourage you and the work that you do every day, specifically in the lives of children, even though I know you also reach out and have adult programs as well, but what you do is very important. I also know what it's like to serve on boards, and I'm part of our Rotary Board at Inman. I'm also part of the Inman Chamber of Commerce Board, and I know that when we take the time to do that, it's because we want to give, we want to make our communities a better place, and hopefully feel like we're making a difference. But I also know that the work of a board can be very challenging. It can be very hard work. So there can be times that you become frustrated and you're wondering, are we really making a difference? Are we really achieving our goals? Are we doing those things that we set out to do? And even more so during these times when we've hit COVID, and there's even more challenges in your world of, are we doing great things for kids and our community? So I know what that is like, and so I hope that I can do 3 things tonight. I have a goal of 3 things. Number 1, I want to thank you for the work that you do. I want you to know that what you do matters, and I want you to remember your why. When we serve on board, sometimes we get so caught up in the task and the toughness that sometimes we forget our why and why we do what we do. So the first thing I want to touch on, anywhere I go, I like to share about ACEs, and I don't know how much you've heard about ACEs. I actually lead workshops and things on ACEs. It's called Adverse Childhood Experiences. And I don't know how many of you have heard of that, but I wanted to share some information with you, and I gave you some handouts. I'm not going to go over all of the details, and I'm going to give a very general overview, and I can come back and do like an hour workshop on ACEs if you want me to, but we won't do that tonight. But basically, adverse childhood experiences are toxic events or traumatic events that might occur in a child's life, specifically before they turn 18. And there has been some research done that actually are made to be in fight or flight mode as a defense mechanism in emergency moments, right? For survival. But if you live in that heightened state all the time, it often pushed, grabbed, slapped, or had something thrown at her, or sometimes or often kicked, bitten, hit with a fist, or hit with something hard, or ever repeatedly hit, or at least a few times, or threatened with a gun or a knife. Number 8, did you live with anyone who was a problem drinker or alcoholic or who used street drugs? Number 9, was a household member depressed or mentally ill, or did a household member attempt suicide? And number 10, did a household member go to prison? Obviously, you hope that children or adults now can answer and not say yes to any of these, right? By the time I was 6 years old, Burnie, when I met you, my ACE score was a 9, and I was a broken little girl. Is that resilience trumps ACEs. Every time. Resilience. So I was a battered little girl, but I was also a feisty little booger, and I was very determined. But the good news is resilience trumps ACEs, and resilience can empower kids to overcome their ACEs. So anytime you hear about ACEs and you hear about ACEs study, you'll hear about something else called protective factors and building resiliency. And that's where you come in. Kids can overcome their ACEs when they build resiliency and have protective factors in their life. And these protective factors, and I want you to listen to this list that I read, and then I want you to think about the things you do as a wife. These are some of the protective factors. It includes things like a positive and nurturing relationship with at least one adult. Opportunities to build confidence. Opportunities to learn and master new skills. Opportunities to connect with others. Opportunities to develop character. Opportunities to contribute to something bigger than yourself. Now, as I read that list, did you not think about some of the things that you do at the YMCA? Absolutely. So by the time I was 6 years old, yes, I had 9 ACEs. But lucky for me, my mom brought that broken little 6-year-old to the YMCA to play soccer. And that is where I first started to develop the resiliency to overcome my ACEs. It was at the Easley YMCA on the soccer team when I was 6 years old. That was the first time in my life that I felt hope. It was the first time that I felt strong and confident and free. And I had an amazing coach, Coach Burnie, and he was so much fun. And he taught me so much just by the way he lived. He cared about me. He pushed me to be my best. He cheered me on. And he showed me for the first time in my life what a man is supposed to be and how a man is supposed to live. And for my 6th birthday, he gave me a pair of Kelly green socks to match my Easley team uniform. For the first time in my life, I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. At the Easley YMCA on Coach Burnie's soccer team is where I started to believe. Now, sports then went on to become a huge part of my life. And it's not just sports. It's not just about sports. We all know that sports teaches us so much more. It taught me so many things about life and skills that would take me places. And it gave me so many opportunities. Just to give you some examples. In middle school, we didn't have middle school teams back then, so I played JV basketball as a 7th grader and an 8th grader. I then played varsity soccer and was named the most valuable player on the varsity soccer team as a 7th grader. I won the county and region cross-country meet as an 8th grader, and I went on to place 7th in the state. In high school, I started to have to choose between my sports. I got involved in AAU basketball, and basketball became my one thing. I was all region, all state. I have the career Eastside High School steal record. I also have the career scoring record at Eastside for boys and girls with 1,884 points. I was named Miss Basketball for the state of South Carolina. I went on to college. I got an academic and an athletic scholarship to Presbyterian College. This was my gift back to my mom, who could not afford to send me to school. At PC, I was all-conference, academic All-American. I set an NCAA record for steals in one game with 14 steals. I hold the career steal record. I hold the single-game scoring record of 38 points. I went on to become a middle school teacher and coach, and now I'm a principal. It's not about those accomplishments, and it's not about the achievements, but it is about making the most of our opportunities that have come our way, and it's about overcoming our obstacles and then letting God use the bad things in our life for His good. So over time, I have learned to be thankful for my past, and yes, I said thankful, because I'm able to have conversations and I'm able to help kids in ways that I wouldn't be able to. If I had gone a different path, I wouldn't be able to make the differences that I now make. Throughout my life, there's been one verse that I have just clung to, and it's Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. I like to call this the jigsaw verse, because I believe that our life is one gigantic jigsaw puzzle, and we have many pieces that have to fit together in order to make God's masterpiece. Now, some of our puzzle pieces are painful. Some of them have jagged edges and they hurt, and you can't seem to make them fit anywhere. And other pieces of our puzzle are smooth and they fit just right in the right place at the right time. But in the end, every single one of those pieces is necessary to complete the masterpiece. And even if you have one piece missing, the picture's not complete. The YMCA and you, Coach Burnie, are two huge pieces of my life's puzzle. I would not be who I am today without the Y, without Coach Burnie. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, a daughter, a sister, an educator, a community member, a leader, a survivor, and now I'm a difference maker because of you. So I want to encourage you for the work that you do, the programs that you provide, the relationships that you form and nurture, and yes, even the board meetings that you attend. Please know that all of those things do make a difference. You may never know the seeds that you plant. You may never know the difference that you've made, but you can literally change the trajectory of a child's life, just like it did for me. So, to conclude, I want to sincerely thank every one of you for the work that you do. Our kids and your presence and your programs today, they need them more than ever. And I also want you to know that what you do matters, and I hope that you will always remember your why. Thank you.